Coming up on WAFB, a nice look at what we have here coming on this week. Some news revolving Thrive EBR. That's coming up. And the president with an update on what we have going on in Venezuela. Some updates coming up.
And we take an opportunity to hopefully pop a run to get a 2-minute drill started. We pop a run for 10 plus, pop another for 10 plus, then you take your shot, you get a PI, take another shot, put yourself in position, and now you go down the field and 5 plays, 50 plus yards, and you're facing a third down. In 10, you pick up 12 with an out cut, you catch, you get out of bounds, and now you're in position, poised. That's at 12 seconds. Now you're about 7 seconds. You kick a field goal, you take the lead 13-16. Huge for your football team as you swing momentum. You get the ball back in the third quarter, go out there, get 3 more, add to it for your football team. And so we go back and forth with this team, and then in the back end of the fourth quarter or third quarter, you mount a drive. You pull out all the tricks and gambits to give yourself a chance to win this game because it's required. And as we get down into the red zone area, their defensive end, they run a little switch game. The end jumps inside. The tackle should loop and have contained. He jumps back inside. And with Michael Van Buren, you got to be careful of that. He does that. We break containment. He finds Bauer Sharp in the corner of the end zone, and we take the lead. At this point, we know that this game is far from over. It's still very much in the balance. It's a 1-point football game. And so we have to, we get the ball with 5 minutes and change, and at that point know how dangerous their quarterback is and that we have to position ourselves to not give them the ball back. We can't afford to. We start a drive, we go down the field to help ourselves, and you're faced with a critical situation of 3rd and 4. And so you get 2 plus and you play 3rd and 2 or less, we're probably going to go for it. You don't, you're probably going to kick it or not. All right, we'll see. Because at this point, with a 1-point lead, they got to come after you. And to come after you, we'll leave them vulnerable. All right, and so because if not, you know, they go down and put you in a tough situation. Nevertheless, Harlan Berry gets the play call. It's designed to hit in between the tackles and told. If it caves inside, you'll have a one-on-one matchup with a cornerback who's going to crack replace as the receiver goes to seal the box. It'll be you and he. You'll probably be 2 yards or so at that point short of it. Go win your one-on-one. Find a way, win your one-on-one. Does an outstanding job of setting them up, jump cut, gets outside of them. But here's the critical part. At that point, we make them use their 2 timeouts before the thought process takes precedence. You win, you have to go down. Because if you score with a minute something, we're currently up by 1, we'll be up by 8. They have a chance to score and, of course, go for the 2-point conversion, thus taking the game into overtime. And so a mature young runner has foresight, insight, have taken coaching, does that. He wins his one-on-one and selflessly gives up himself and his opportunities to score in the game for the good of the team. And that embodied the game. It embodied the game, and somewhere in there, I just forgot to talk about the magnificent goal line stand that I'd be remiss if I did not talk about it. That was stellar of a defensive line that played knockback football. So proud of Tank and those guys up front that just played LSU football. What our program has been built upon for many years in style of play, of toughness, of physicality, of refuse to lose. We're denying you today in Tiger Stadium, not this day, that we're going to find a way to win this game and hoist this trophy when there's no time left. And so in the greatest formation in football, Michael Van Buren kneels down in victory to secure victory for our football team. So that's kind of a snapshot of what our game was in my mind and how it played out. So take any questions there.
Coach, I guess a lot of people have questions about Garrett Nussmeier this year. Do you think he's been compromised by this injury all year? And is he just trying to grind through it, be a leader when he played? And was he a better option, less than 100% than, say, the backup?
Yeah, I'll start with this. I don't know if you guys had a chance to see him on the sideline. I was so proud of him and his leadership and how he stood by his teammates, how he encouraged Michael through the duration of the game, as well as the entire offense and defense. He delivered in a way that was so monumental in the psyche of our team that even though he was down, he was not out. And so his contributions were significant for the morale of our football team, for the mindset of our football team. To say that he played courageously throughout the year is probably an understatement. I wasn't always privy to the injuries and the things that he was going through, but he went through a lot. He persevered through a lot. He pushed through an awful lot to give our team, himself, every opportunity to be our best. I commend Garrett for that and what he did in this year, which I thought was extremely courageous.
Hey, Frank, can you clarify, is Colin Hurley's absence permanent or temporary, and maybe whatever else you can elaborate on with his absence?
Yeah. He took a leave of personal related matters. It is temporary right now at this time.
Do you expect Garrett to dress out and compete this week?
I know he's going to want to. We're going to defer to our medical staff, our trainers, our doctors, to do what's best for him. If there's any way that he can, I know he's going to want to do so, but I don't have those answers just yet.
I get to sit in the stands with my wife and watch the game, and we're watching Harlem run the ball, and she obviously says, "Where's this guy been all season long?" Right? Could you speak to the fans maybe that don't understand the evolution that is required for a freshman tailback and kind of how it is a season-long progression?
Yeah, we kind of talked about that earlier, a couple of weeks ago maybe, about playing without the ball, right? How pivotal that is in their development, and that now, we had to protect them even early on. They're naturally, running backs are naturally gifted runners, but very seldom at St. Martin's he was asked to block a 245-pound linebacker running down his throat that could have started outside and came inside, or had a mug look at one backer who pops out and he comes from the opposite way and now he has to scan back across, or to get a great pre-snap read of safety rotation to get out as an outlet, what would be a check down but now becomes a primary for the quarterback, that are critical for the success of the team. And so that development takes time, and experience is the best teacher. They have to go through it. As great as Leonard was when we played Wisconsin, I remember talking to his father, and it's like, Skip Bayless called him a bust. It's your fault. And I'm like, well, it's not my fault that Skip said that. He shouldn't have said it, and he's wrong. And as we know, he went on to become legendary and one of the greatest, in my opinion, college running backs of all time. But he wasn't ready. And so we had to play Kenny Hilliard and Terrence McGee at that time in that game. By mid-year, he was ready, and he hit full stride and played his very best football at the back end of the season. It just takes time, and we're in the development business. It's not the National Football League. We still nurture, we still develop, we still teach, they still grow, they still ascend. People assume when they come here there's an S on their chest and we just push them out there and they go play. We're teachers. We're teachers first. And so he needed that development. He's playing his best football now. I think it'll continue in the next couple of weeks to come and on through a bowl season as his evolution comes to bear itself.
Coach, I know we're getting into some hypotheticals here, but without Nuss and without Colin Hurley, do you have a plan for an emergency quarterback behind Michael?
We do. Yeah, and so, we got a guy that went through the entire spring with us and Juwan Johnson at quarterback, all the way into fall camp, who we've been constantly still working as Garrett's injury started to reveal itself even more, to have an emergency plan. And we feel confident about that. We feel confident about Emil being able to step in and get us out of the game if we needed to do so. So we have a contingency plan that we feel confident in. Yes.
Just you spoke about Mansour earlier. Just what a benefit he's been to this team, I guess, if you could kind of elaborate on what he has meant to this team and how much he has improved his stock over the course of this season.
Yeah, man, we're very fortunate to have him. I spoke about him last week, about him being a man on a mission to accomplish the things that he was looking for. And there's so many things that are not statistical superlatives, if you will. The pass breakup on the sideline on the critical third down, the coming off of shedding a block off a blocker to make a magnificent cut block. The sexy one is the interception down in there, but it's play after play. It's showing up. It's turning a play back inside to set the edge of the defense to allow him or to allow us to corral and run to the ball, rally to the ball. His style of play has been superlative. I'd be shocked if he's not somewhere in the mention of SEC Player of the Week in this week, and at the back end of the year position himself for awards for doing the things that he's doing in this season.
Yeah, Frank, just with Aaron Burrell, he had a couple of those kicks that kind of went off to the sidelines. Is there something y'all are asking him to do on kickoffs now that maybe he wasn't doing, as opposed to just booting it through the end zone like we saw so many times, I guess, last year and early on in his season? Just what do you think went wrong on a couple of those kicks?
Yeah, we're asking him to boot it in the end zone. Yeah, we'll those are the things we're asking of him. He has the capability of doing it. He's done it sometimes with great consistency. Coming back today in the injury report and seeing our medical staff, he was bothered by an old injury that we took care of. It reared its head within the game. Unfortunately, I think that could have affected his style of play. But we're not asking him. Here's what we're asking him to do. What do you do best? He shares it with us. Do that, right? And so we're putting him in position to do the things that he does best. Unless it's a situational deal. So when we score at the back end and there's 3 seconds left, of course we want him to squib it. We don't want to give him a chance to return it and have a big play unnecessarily. But outside of that, just standard operation of what he has done.
Well, what is senior day like now because of the portal? Has it changed, and is it still important? Because now you've got guys here that have been here like 1 year as opposed to in the past 3 or 4 years.
Yeah, so we have 28 guys that are going to participate in senior day. Don't quote me on the number, but we got quite a few of them that have been here 3 years and more. But we do have an influx of some of the guys that we've gotten out of the portal who've been here as little as a year or going on a year and change or less than. I think for those guys, they have embraced and taken in what it is to be an LSU Fighting Tiger. I think that they have adapted and are proud to be here and the things that we're doing in our culture and our way of life. I've visited with all of them about how that will look for us on Saturday. They're extremely excited to partake in it because they've never done it, because wherever they left, they were still yet an underclassman. And so a little different, I think, for some. Not much different for those who have been with us for a duration of time. We'll do some creative things with these guys in the back end of this week in a celebratory manner with our football team as they take their last practice reps of a home game on that practice field and what that means and what that looks like, and build or prelude into what will be their senior day on Tiger game field as well. So I think the feeling is very much the same, that you have chills and goosebumps and excited about taking center stage in that stadium in front of 100,000 people, which we'll need, and they deserve to be able to stand in front of 100,000 Tiger fans.
You all shuffled a little bit at both offensive tackle spots. Can you explain the decision that you all made to play both when you did, and then after evaluating the film, how you thought those guys did?
Yeah, just thought those guys, asking them to play an enormous amount of reps wasn't advantageous for them or for us, that if we could split those reps in half, the idea if it was somewhere about 30-30, they could give us 30 great plays, opposed to 30 great plays and another 30 that are a tad bit under. So if they were fresh, they were engaged, and they're learning from the other while he is out there, then going onto the field would give them and give us best opportunity for production. After watching the film, you saw those things. I thought we controlled them for the most part. They had one of the most prolific defensive ends in the SEC. I thought we managed him well. He didn't just disrupt our world. And I was proud of him. I was proud of those young guys and their ability to keep them in front of them, if you will. That's the tough thing about this, right? And so we talk about the defensive ends in the SEC and how they rush the field, and they're elite, all right? They're the top 5, top 10 draft picks, and they're going against a guy who's going vertically backwards, and how to get to your depth, how to counter the repertoire of things that he will do is up and under. It's in and out. It's then an ice pick. It's two-hand bob. It's bull rush. You got to be prepared for it all at any time. And so, and it's a tall task for a guy who's youthful. But I thought our guys did well, was proud of the job that they did, and I think they'll continue to just get better. But for us, in that regard, we played 70 snaps or so on offense and 50 or so on defense. Again, kind of what we have found as the sweet spot to allow us to be at our best.
I got two for you. What did it mean to have your family on the field with you after the game? Who was that young man they threw at you and then you had to catch? And then what did you see in Michael's full game? Like, now that he had the full game to work with, and where do you think he can maybe take another step here going forward?
Yeah, I thought Michael's body of work was imperfect, but yet something that we can certainly build on. Again, there were things early in the game, and it's different, right? It's always different when you are the guy that's coming off the bench. The pressure is different. The expectation is different. So for length of time, everybody in their mind want Teddy Bridgewater. Well, Teddy's not better than Drew. Sorry, Teddy. But he's not, right? Drew was the guy. But as he got older, we want Teddy, because he was the backup that came in and looked great. And so there's an adjustment from the guy that comes off the bench compared to the guy who starts and have all the monumental pressure and expectations to live up to. It was a first in Tiger Stadium for Michael, and so it took a minute for it to digest. I think he settled down well. He would want some of those throws back that he makes routinely, because we purposely didn't ask him to do anything over the top. We're going to give you simple ones, and even that, it can become challenging for you in your debut in Tiger Stadium. But I thought he finished in a flurry. I thought he was willing to do whatever it took to help us win the football game. He delivered and gave his best when his best was needed. And so proud of him and the job that he did. I had about 40 or so family members that were in town for the game, including my mother, who was in the wheelchair on the field. So it was a terrific feeling to be able to share that with the people you love. And over the years, as I've gone from state to state and coached at places, that was always the tough part. life is grand, life is beautiful if you can share it with the people you love. To do it by yourself and not be able to share it with people you love and for others, then it's a little different. But it hits different when you can. And so it was a great feeling at that time. That was my grandson, Makai, who they threw at me on the field, who his game plan was, Pop, we can win. All you have to do is put me in the game, right? And so so he made that known to me. So, yeah, a great opportunity in family time. Thank you for asking that.
Frank, do you expect Whit Weeks to play again this year, and could you go through an injury report from Saturday?
Yeah, boy, I sure hope he would. He makes us better. I'm respectful and understanding of his injury, of his future, and the things that he's trying to attain. I think if there's a possibility of him being able to play, he's going to position himself to do so. Unfortunately, that hasn't happened in the last couple of weeks, several weeks. We'll try again this week. Spoke with him this morning. He has a desire and a want to play and to finish in this season the way that he sees fit, and we certainly want to accommodate him in doing so. Outside of that, nothing major. A couple of knickknacks here and there, bruises and things. No breaks, no tears throughout the week in this week's game.
If I ask you a couple, Ramos got some SEC Player of the Week honors. He's the ultimate position to do something right, nobody remembers, right? Do something wrong, no one forgets. Yeah.
Yeah, so 3 for 3 in field goal attempts, perfect in PATs, and nobody says anything. He missed that one wide right. Everybody remembers it. Consistency, maturity. He's going to be a tough one to replace as he wraps up his senior year here. He has been steady since his freshman year. He is our all-time point leader, and just really proud of the job that he's done for us.
If and when you reach a bowl game, you obviously would be the head coach of that?
If I'm allowed to be, I would certainly love to be.
Got you. What would a bowl game, what does a bowl game mean to the program moving forward? Because a lot of people downplay them these days, but as the acting head coach, what do you see in that?
Oh, it's a big deal. It's a big deal for us. Anytime you're able, when you think of your program holistically and the continuous opportunity to develop your team, the longer and the more you can practice, there's development, there's engagement, there's cohesiveness that happens with your football team. And so we'd like to play into January to advance our football team, to keep the camaraderie and the building of a program that we think is on a horizon, right? At a time in year when some people are getting weary, our football team is building steam, right? And so from a week ago to this week to this upcoming week versus Western Kentucky, we're eager to play. We're chopping at the bit to get better, to prove ourselves and beyond.
Just a recruiting question. Somebody got a 5th star in New Orleans, yesterday, I guess. But just what does the victory do for you and those phone calls that, you get to make to the potential, commitments?
I think it's a big deal. You tell them just stay to the course, hang with us. You'll see the change. You'll see that we're getting better. And for young eyes, getting better is winning, right? And so they sometimes can't see the gains that the team is making and sometimes they can, in effort and style of play versus said opponent. But when you win, they remember that. It makes them feel good. And so they identify improvement with winning. And so to have a win on Saturday was a big deal for our football program. It was a big deal for those guys who are committed to us. Kind of allows them to stick their chest out and hold their chin up high. We're back. Okay, you saw that, huh? And so they were ecstatic when we talked to them. Yeah, they're a good football team, 8-2. a gun and fun and a raid offense that throws it all over the field in various formations, a quarterback that's dynamic in his own right. You look at it against Louisiana Tech, I think he had 12 for 80 yards in rushing. He can spin it. And again, you know, when you talk about the air raid offense and all of those guys that come off of that lineage, it's always difficult because they go with great speed. They give you exotic looks, and they throw it all over the yard. And so our discipline, our eye discipline on defense will be critical for us. They have a really good running back who's rushed the ball well for them, and two dynamic receivers. Defensively, they're multiple, right? They're a 3-4 defense that turns into 3-2 defense, that turns into bear defense, that turns into all these variations of things that you will have to prepare for. There'll be a challenge for us from a defensive standpoint, from an offensive standpoint, because we've had challenges with variation and movement up front. And so to be on point this weekend will be critical for our success, just to get a hat on a man. And I think if we do that, you know, we'll have the success that we're looking for. But they're a talented football team with a great young staff that's doing a good job for them. Thank you all. How come y'all didn't come? Y'all promised me if I went out last Friday, y'all were going to be there. And we were over. Why you didn't call me? Oh. Yeah, that was my crew. Oh, was somebody else? Oh, no, that wasn't me. Hey, but here's the deal was I was in a unit, an unmarked car, so the police would get out with me. And as we would pull up at these Winnebagos or whatever in these areas, you know, they're drinking and having a good time. Like, hey, I didn't do it. I didn't do it. You know, once I came out, it was it was magical, because for the people, they didn't think it would become a reality. They thought I was just saying it. And we probably, went to 5 stops, but other people came around once the buzz started. And for them, it was, he really came. Like, no way this is true. He's here. You know, one elderly lady, you know, she was like, in all my years, she cried, we hugged, we picked up dogs and babies and cats, and it was just a magical night for Southern hospitality. Yeah, it was great. Thank you all.
At Pipe & Steel Industrial, safety is more than a priority. It's a core value. We uphold the highest standards not only in the quality of our products, but in the practices that ensure our team's safety and success. Pipe & Steel Industrial, your trusted partner in industrial pipe fabrication.